Anti-Zionism does not equal anti-Semitism. It's incredibly important that we are able to discern between a movement that is calling for freedom and equality and democracy for Palestinians who currently, in the majority, live under a brutal military occupation and apartheid regime, with the idea that people want to attack and harm Jews. These are not the same thing. And trying to conflate those two things actually not only undermines Palestinian solidarity movements, but it also makes Jews less safe. I'm Jewish, and this is why I unlearned Zionism. When I was in my early 20s, I went on a solidarity trip with the Center for Jewish Nonviolence, and we visited the village of Khair, which is a Bedouin village in the South Hebron Hills, which obviously lives under constant occupation and attacks from settlers and soldiers and housing demolitions. And we were sitting in the community center, and one of the sort of elder women of the community came to speak to us about the sort of home demolitions and her experiences. She said this phrase while she was talking about her home being demolished in the middle of the day, saying, oh, it was very inconvenient when the Israelis came to demolish their house, as if it was like, you know, someone cut in line at the post office or something, you know, inconvenient. And I remember hearing that as sort of a young Jewish woman who'd grown up in very Zionist communities, had been part of a Zionist youth movement, had been involved also in a lot of liberal Zionist organizations, and hearing that and thinking, how is her home being demolished keeping me safe? I think the main thing that I unlearned when I was unlearning Zionism was that the idea that in order for Jews to be safe, Palestinians needed to be unsafe or unfree. And so for me, it was about recognizing sort of the material reality of what Zionism has done. I think I've been particularly concerned with the ways in which the issue of anti-Semitism is being used to silence and shut down debate, particularly around some of the pro-Palestine protests. Because what it's actually implying is that the only way for Jews to be safe is for us to silence our human rights and rights to protest, which is fundamentally untrue. Historically, Jewish people have always thrived in democracies where these kinds of human rights and civil liberties have been upheld. And so if the excuse to sort of attack these protests or attack Palestine solidarity is being done in the name of Jewish people, that actually exposes Jewish people to more risk of attacks, because it's sort of associating us with this anti-democratic movement. And so it's really thinking about what actually does keep us all safe. And that's each other, and that's sort of working for societies that are solidaristic and based on values of equality and democracy and freedom for all people. The most hopeful I am is when I'm part of a joint struggle with Palestinian folks who are also struggling for their freedom too, and being in solidarity with them has been some of the most important work that I've done over the course of my life, and I will continue to do so until we're all free.